Welcome to Working for Progress, a podcast that connects us through conversations about how we craft our working lives and make progress. Through open and thoughtful conversations, our podcast starts with simple pleasures, finishes in awe, and meanders through career journeys in between. This podcast is rooted in Tribe Porty, a community co-working space and creative hub filled with entrepreneurs, freelancers, charities, social enterprises, and SMEs. We believe in the power of connection, sharing stories that inspire, challenge, and celebrate the many ways we shape our working lives. Join us as we dive into the realities of work, purpose, and progress, one conversation at a time. Today's guest is a long-time supporter of Tribe Porty and someone who brings creativity and community together in the most heartfelt ways. From hosting monthly soup nights in his home to running the in-progress poetry social at Till's Bookshop, Paul brings together people through words, warmth, and shared experience. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for coming in.
Hello.
Hello. We're going to start out nice and easy with 5 simple pleasures.
What?
Your 5 simple pleasures.
Okay. Oh, they're going to be really simple.
I know, I'm going to have to rein you in a bit. Just 5.
I am a huge fan of the stillness and quiet of early morning. I love. I get up 5-ish, sometime between 5 and 6. I used to be so rigid about when I got up, 5 o'clock, and now it's sort of 5-ish. But I love the stillness of early mornings. I love the peace of it. So that's 1. I like going really, really fast. But like in a sort of reasonably controlled way. I like going fast down a hill on a bike or fast down a hill on a skateboard. I like going really, really fast. I love this. I was trying to describe this yesterday. I love performance poetry. I love the feeling of. There's a line in a poem that I'm working on at the moment that is so much fun to read, and I love the feeling of it, the tactility, the way that it moves over my tongue and between my teeth, and the way that my tongue taps on my teeth when I say it. I love that physical representation of the words that were just ideas in my head. I love that. The gelato place around the corner has vegan peanut butter ice cream. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
It's fucking mind blowing. And so but they're never open. They're they're really sporadic at hours. So the rule is if they're open, I'm having a tub. How many's that?
4.
You should have been counting.
No, you got 1 more.
Okay.
Or you can have 6 if you need it.
Well, the vegan ice cream made me think about the empanadas from Mamacita's on the high street, and whenever they have a vegan one, which isn't often, I have to eat it. So if I see vegan on the A-board outside, A-frame sign, and if it says vegan, I'm having one, even if it's immediately after a large lunch.
Or the ice cream.
It's happening. That's the rule. And then number 6, I'm really fond of rules.
Are you?
I love rules, yeah.
I'm really surprised by that.
Rules that I make.
Do you love them because you can break them? Or do you love them because they give you a sort of comfort structure?
Comfort and structure. I have historically had quite a chaotic life. And so when I introduced rules and structure and rituals into my day, it made sense of things for me and allowed me to see where I'd been, and that allowed me to look at where I was going, where I wanted to be going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I'm stuck on the going really fast.
That was 3 ago.
I know, partly because it's the opposite of me, but also thinking in terms of in the confinement of rules. You're breaking a rule. Maybe you're not breaking a rule.
No. I only really
Unless you're in a car, you are breaking a rule.
I like the moment when the surfboard picks up, when the wave and the surfboard and my momentum all happen at the same time, and that whoosh. That's what I mean. That whoosh.
Oh, okay. Is there an element of fear there that you like?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not fear. It's like, I think it is literally the physical sensations. I like the feeling of the air moving past me or the water moving past me. I like the touch of it on me. I like coming down a hill mountain biking in the winter is cool, rain and mud everywhere, and it's brilliant. But mountain biking in the summer, coming down a trail with just a t-shirt on and shorts, and feeling just like nude from the waist down,
That
riding
sounds
up on.
sore.
There's not a way to mountain bike.
No.
But that feeling of yeah, like being part of gravity and being like part of like feeling the air move on your skin and like it's so good. It's so good. I don't know if I would say that if you
No,
asked
that's
me
cool.
tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I made some assumptions there, thinking it was more about that psychopathic gene.
Oh, need for speed.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I drive way below the speed limit.
So do I.
Unless I'm in like those confusing spaces where all of a sudden it's 20.
Oh,
and,
it's not your fault.
Yeah. But typically I drive like an old man. I'm never in a hurry to get anywhere.
That's probably best, really.
Which is probably why I like little moments of speed.
Yeah, okay.
Contrast.
Thank you. I like those. They're a bit different. We often get coffee and
I love
forest.
coffee.
I mean, I can't. I'm not slating anyone. Those are on my list.
Yeah.
But haven't had speed yet, have we? No, I like it. Thinking about your kind of your whole life, including work, but not also work. Do you have top 3 values that you have been true since you were young, or maybe that are new now? And what do you live by in that way?
So, there was a sustained period of chaos in my life. Problems with alcohol and with drugs and with lack of direction. And part of me coming out of that, part of the rehabilitation process for that was me trying to figure out what my values were. I got that from a self-help book. I don't remember which or what I was reading at the time, but part of it was establish your values. And I realized that I not only didn't know what my values were, I didn't know what values were. And so I had to like look at a list of like 40 values on Wikipedia and then like work through them. Like, do I care about that? I don't know if that's important. So I think I whittled it down to about 6 things that I thought were kind of important. And that's been a long process. And I don't know that I am sort of locked into any sort of fixed 3 values. Although I have just noticed that I've got 4 tattooed on my arm there.
Ooh, what are they?
So those are the 4 cardinal virtues from Plato's Republic.
Okay.
Wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. And they are really important. I think they are really important, but I like truthfulness. I'm unsure about whether usefulness is a virtue. To be of service is probably how a self-help book would frame that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to be useful, to contribute. Well, I'm at 6 there.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, those things are kind of important to me. Honesty. Did I say that?
No.
I think honesty is important with ourselves and with others.
And you feel like that has always been in you? You know, you talk about coming out of a period of chaos, but ultimately, you know, you're still you before and after that transformation. Yeah. Do you feel like, what are those kind of things that feel innately you most? I don't know if that's a fair question.
It's a difficult question. I think it is a fair question. I don't know if so the only thing that can ever define a self is continuity. I think like the me now. This me now is contiguous, connected to the me, the immediately preceding me, and that one is the same as the immediately preceding that, or similar to, and I think that. So I think there are many me's. Yeah. So I don't know. I think probably I always knew it was important to be honest. I think I certainly always had a sense of justice. You know, I boycotted Nike in the 90s, and I have always been a member of Amnesty, and I think you know things like that were there when I was a teenager. Greenpeace and like justice and accountability were important then. But I don't know if they were defining characteristics back then. I think they were just little undertones, maybe.
Yeah. I just, after all these kind of interviews, it's interesting to ask people kind of where they're at now, especially with kind of their working life. And, you know, what was that golden thread that has ran through since the beginning? It's not always evident, but I find most times people can find that thread. Yeah.
Certainly creativity has always been there. Creativity has always been visible on the surface. I think creativity is always there for everybody in some respect, to some degree, and some people suppress it, and some people live it as apparently as they ever could. And I think it's always been there for me. It's certainly something that I have learned in recent years to embrace, and I could never have called myself a poet. I could never have called myself an artist, but I am undeniably a poet and an artist. Those are probably, you know, to try and define myself in a context of work. I'm an artist and I'm a poet, and I think it'd be a struggle to find any other label actually. But I could not have said that 10 years ago, and I certainly would have balked at it 20 years ago.
And what are you working on just now?
I am working on a festival event for next summer. Working on a screenplay for 2 feature-length films. Producing a short film that shoots next month. I am working on 3 poems at the moment. I have an opportunity to work with a really exciting producer and a composer, and to try and set one of my poems to music, which is almost literally a lifelong dream, like since Run DMC. I think so working on a couple of little art installations that don't need nearly as much planning as I'm giving them. I think I'm avoiding committing to them because they take a little bit of, they require some vulnerability that I'm
not ready for.
I'm definitely ready for it. It's just I'm on the edge of that bungee platform, kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. With both of them, but I'm desperate to see them finished. I think that's quite often the way with creative stuff, where it's like, this is going to be so fucking amazing. I can't wait I can't wait for this to be done. But it's a bit of a slog to get to that point. I enjoy the process, but
you do.
I do, yeah. But like, I don't know. One of the art installations has a digital element. Making that is boring, but using it will be fun. Yeah. So, yeah.
Part of the work.
Totally, exactly.
Do you think that it's challenging? Kind of, I think we're gravitating more to not having one singular job for a long time, and most people that we interview, even if they're employed, they've got other things happening. I mean, we had a human rights lawyer yesterday who also has her side gig as a humanitarian activist, which made me laugh that she said it was her side gig, only because I'm like, that's 2 big things happening at one time. But it did make me think about, and just listening to all those bits that you're talking about, is that challenging to kind of not legitimize, but feel confident in that all those pieces are work and as valid or more valid than, you know, a quote unquote normal job that you have for 30 years, and that security of that? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't. It's a long time since I had a normal job, so I'm not all that sure. I don't know that I.
Oh yeah, maybe you've never had that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe.
I have had normal jobs. I've been a cleaner, and I've worked in every kind of shop, and I've worked on building sites, and I have worked in kitchens as various jobs in restaurants. I've been a waiter. I have worked in call centres and mail rooms and some kind of office job that I didn't ever really understand. I've been a consultant of some kind, and I didn't understand what I was doing at any point during my tenure there. So I have had, like, they're all proper jobs. I didn't find any of them fulfilling. I didn't hate all of them. I don't think I was ever an exemplary employee in any of those jobs. I have also had, I suppose my film and TV career was a proper job. It was a proper job. It was just a kind of slightly chaotic, crazy freelance job, but it is a proper job.
Yeah. Sorry, and I don't mean to separate like proper and improper at all.
No, but so they were all paid jobs that the tax office recognises.
Okay, maybe that's
so
part of it.
HMRC recognised those jobs.
Yeah.
Whereas for the last 5 years, I think, I've been a stay-at-home dad, or a house husband, or a homemaker, or a, what's the word in Buddhism? Householder. A householder. I like householder. But I've cooked and cleaned and looked after my son and made sure that my wife, who has a extremely stressful and difficult job, has a safe landing when she comes home, and that she comes back and dinner's ready, and she doesn't really have to do anything housey when she gets back from work. And that has no fiscal value as far as HMRC are concerned. But it's like clearly it's the best job I've ever had, and it's the most exciting job that I've ever had. And I didn't value it when I first started doing it, because I started doing it, I was made redundant and I didn't have anything else to do, and I was looking for work, and whilst I was looking for work, there were these jobs that needed doing around the house. I didn't enjoy any of them. I didn't want to hoover or dust or wipe things down or any of the other jobs, cook, shop, all these things. I'm really good at them now. Like, you know, you systematize things, you figure out how to make it so that you can get it done efficiently, and I love it now. And my wife has, like, there's a marked difference in where she was in her career when I started staying at home and running the house to where she is now. And that's on her. Like, she's the one that's done the work, but I've kind of made sure that she's got space to rest when she gets home. My son seems like a pretty well-balanced kid, and in part that has to be because I'm around more for him. So, like, it's clearly a really valuable job, but it's not valued at all by society. It is. That's not true. There are people... There are plenty of people who value that.
Sure. But
it's not financially... I mean, I don't earn anything.
Yeah. That's interesting, though, because I don't think we talk about that piece of the other partners. There's studies shown that the success of the partner with a stay-at-home partner who helps hold everything together, their success definitely goes up. Which is common for, usually it's the other way around, men.
I feel like this what I'm about to say, so bear with me.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of feminism. I've read almost everything, all of the seminal books that I should have read. And what I think, and I suppose there's also a conflation between women's lib and feminism that I think is often left in discussions about this. But what I think a mistake that was made possibly made in the public perception of feminism is that everyone now has an equal share of a shit pie, and like, or not, everyone doesn't have it. Everyone theoretically has equal access to a shit pie. And what I think would have been slightly better, and it's not really possible because there was a huge course correct required, but what would have been great would have been if the main thrust of feminism had been women and men have the choice in how they go about choosing roles in society. That would have been a better angle, I think, because I am way better at running the house and looking after my son and knowing all of his friends' names and what their dietary requirements are, and than my wife is. She doesn't have the patience for that. It's not her. She's amazing at running a department and being in charge of lots of money and making it all work, but she really doesn't want to be, making 5 different dinners for the 5 different kids that are around after school. And I think that certainly the public perception of feminism was women have every right to go to work and just like men, and that's correct. But the the foil to that was never platformed enough. I don't think men should be able to stay at home. When I stopped working, or when I said I'm not going to go back to work, I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad, the only people that pushed back on that were women, and they were like, "Oh, that's not very fair on your wife." I'm like, I think like all the guys that I told about were like, "Oh man, that's so amazing! I would love to be able to give my family that time. I would love to be able to do that, but it's just not possible." Like for whatever their reasons were. The only people that pushed back were women, and I found that really confusing at the time. I was like, I'm a champion. I'm like,
I could see that. I could also see the point of assuming wrongly that your wife's had to work and do all the other shit that women normally have to do.
That's not an unfair assumption, though. Like, I know guys who have, been out of work and they've been at home and they're like, "Oh, my wife's nagging at me to get a job," and they're like, "Well, get off your fucking ass and do something useful and become an asset rather than a lazy couch potato." So I don't know, maybe there's a 5th wave, 4th, I can't keep up with where we are. Maybe that's part of the next wave is a broader equality.
Well, I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? It's a partner, whether it's a man, a woman, whatever. It's a partnership. So how can we as 2 humans figure this stuff out together and take each other's slack when the other person can't manage? I mean, that's where we're hopefully going.
I think, as far as tax codes are concerned or HR are concerned, gender should be entirely irrelevant. It's like it doesn't have a role to play in how good you are at your job.
I know.
And
I think we can agree on that.
But also, where we are now is way better than where we were 5 years ago, and so much better than where we were in the 1920s. And we're slowly pushing forward, and we take some steps back and we take some steps forward. But if you zoom out to the last 150,000 years of humanity, it's a growth trend.
Yeah,
we're getting better.
Can I ask if you felt any resentment in terms of the workload I'm sure your wife was very grateful and thankful, but on some level you must have felt the kind of cultural unappreciation for the work that you were putting into your house.
No, because she still does. She loves laundry, and so at first I was trying to make sure there was no laundry left, like everything was done before Friday, so that she had nothing to do on the Saturday. And I started to notice that she was washing stuff that didn't need washing. So now I make sure that there's make sure that I don't do all the laundry.
I feel like we need Kathleen here to verify this. This sounds suspicious to me.
I bought her birthday present this year. I bought her an Italian style out your window washing line with pulleys and things, and her brother installed it together, and it was she was over the moon. She she couldn't have anything. Yeah, she loves laundry. But
texting her later.
But she absolutely do. It's almost fetishistic. Things have to be hung on the line in exactly the right way, and she makes this complicated not pretzel, what do you call those? Empanada. Out of sheets so that they catch maximum wind. It's she's super into it. So's her mum. But also she does the sort of the paper admin for the house. So it's not like I do everything. And she has she's got such a she loves knowing what gets what out of what for stain cleaning, and she has this sort of analytical mind for solving that kind of problem.
Just come to my house.
So she does that kind of stuff, you know.
So you didn't feel resentful?
No, not at all. No.
That's cool.
No, we're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
It's balanced out really well. I think that so I still occasionally do like short run TV jobs. So like I'm the old guy now that gets brought in when everyone else is unavailable, and so I'll go in and do days on shows, or like, you know, extra when there's extra hands needed on a film or something, I'll go in and do that. And that's, you know, the occasional graphic design jobs. I'm starting to get paid writing jobs here and there, and that's really nice. But that's my entire income. Like, and so if I want to buy something silly, like I feel reluctant to take that out of family money, and it has to come from my discretionary fund, because I'm not bringing anything in for the family. If I have a good year, I pay for the family holiday. So there is some kind of, it's not, I don't think resentment's maybe too strong, but there's an imbalance created by the fact that she earns all the money.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
That can be difficult. But also my life isn't particularly expensive. I buy clothes every 2 years, and I buy books.
Probably a lot of books, actually.
I buy a lot of books.
Do you have friends, do you know other people that are also stay-at-home dads?
Actually, I don't.
It's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because it's really not.
I know guys who do.
Yeah.
But like, they're not in my close friends group. I'd never. One of my friends is approaching retirement. He's not really, but he and I daydream about when he might retire so that we can hang out during the day.
Do you know, I hear a lot of guys talk about wanting to retire, but the guys that I know that say that, I know for a fact they would find it really hard to stop.
It's so sad.
But it's true.
I hate work.
Or look at the stats of men that retire and how many have heart attacks.
Yeah. After. Oh, my dad is 70 something, 5-ish, and has been working in construction his whole life, and is still. Is
he still going?
He's still going and will not stop.
I meant working. I didn't mean going.
That's what I took going to mean.
Good.
He can't stop, but I think there is, especially in men, maybe predominantly in men, but I think probably it just presents differently in men and women. There's a workaholism, like it looks to me an awful lot like alcoholism. It's a reliance on something that helps avoid dealing with problems.
Yeah.
I think we have a very unwell population, and I think work is probably the most prevalent drug.
I agree. I think, well, obviously without work can be a challenge as well, but there is something tied up, and maybe it's because the pressure of being a provider as a man. So you were in charge, you know, if we talk about legacy of how things used to be, you were in charge of the health and the roof over the head and the food on the table, the money to make that family be sustainable, and that pressure that puts on you, and that identity is so wound up in your work that without it you're not even sure what your role is in the world.
Think I certainly went through a little bit of that.
And women go through it too. I think it's healthy to acknowledge why.
Well, I wonder, as you were saying that, I wonder how old that is, because pre-industrial revolution and like in an agrarian culture, like I think if you told a woman running a croft with her husband that he was in charge of, I think you'd probably get a hay bale in the face. So I think probably as we moved into cities and into factories, one person had to stay at home more, but women in the workplace was only a problem for middle class women. Women were always in the workplace. It was so like I don't know. I think that would be I don't know the answer, but it would be an interesting thing to explore. I can't even remember the question now.
No, it's okay, because I was thinking about how has your identity changed over this time of I mean, you are working, so it's not like you're not working, but I guess maybe it is slightly different identity.
Oh
to
yeah,
what you had
yeah.
Before.
Oh, like I was Paul Props. I was a standby props was my title for most of my time in film and TV. And I thought of myself as Paul Props. I went to work for 12 hours a day, and then I went home and prepped for the next day, and the week ahead. And when the weekend came around, I went to work with my colleagues. I went to the pub with my colleagues, and we talked about work, and like it was everything.
Yeah.
I think my identity now, I attempt to think of myself in terms of usefulness and creativity. Am I being creative? Am I satisfying my need to express myself? And am I useful in my community? And I am.
So, like, good kind of pillars of check-ins.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm not tracking this. I would have probably tracked this a few years ago, but I am reasonably confident that every single day I am helpful in some way to someone within my community, and I create something or work on a creative project every day without doubt, multiple times a day. And that might just be that I smile at someone on the prom as I'm walking to the gym, or I, say something nice to someone like it could be as simple as that, or it could be that I carry someone's shopping for them, or that I help someone, I chop the branches that are knocking on their bedroom window when the wind blows, or like I think quite a lot of what I do during the day would be perceived to be quite banal, but there are lots of opportunities to be kind, to be compassionate, and I think it's really nice to have, because I have slack in my day, the slack tide where it's not being pulled in or out, and it's just that moment of because I have that in my day a lot. I'm kind of more. Maybe I have a little bit more energy to be observant, and maybe I notice when someone's not looking like they're having a great day, and I can stop and ask them if they're all right, and I can stop and have a half-hour conversation on the prom because there's some slack.
I also think though that many more people could give themselves that slack. It's just like a permission to approach their work that way.
Yeah.
Even as an employee, we get in this kind of like, we have to be here, but we're not necessarily present, but we have to look like we're doing stuff, but it's really ineffectual quite often.
There's so many work studies that show that like 3 hours is about all you've got in the day, really.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's less than that. And
I thought it was 4. Is it less than 3?
but like, you go, if work was arranged around going in, giving your energy and focus to a task and getting it all done, and then going away and doing something else, that I do think it's readily available for everyone. It's sort of a choice.
I think we're kind of slowly getting there with the kind of gig economy and like working differently. People are giving themselves more permission of like how they organize their working day better, but I still quite, I mean, maybe I'm in a little bubble too. I'm not in a office block with I am in a bubble.
Like I have a partner with a well-paid job, and I live in a like lefty progressive seaside community on the edge of a wealthy city. I don't really have any money worries. I have a massive position of privilege. I've got no space to criticize the way that anyone else lives their life. But the good things about my life don't cost anything. Like it doesn't. Does it? Maybe it does. Maybe I'm being naive, but I don't think I pay anything to get up early and sit and read a book for half an hour, meditate for not long enough. But like those things don't cost anything.
Yeah.
And they're available to everyone.
judgmental. It's
Oh,
more
no,
like
no.
I want this freedom to be. I see
I
so many stressed
thought I was the
people.
one sounding like preachy and overprivileged and not aware of that privilege. So yeah, it wasn't about what you said.
Okay, good. 2 more questions. What's the biggest risk you've taken to date?
Whoa. So I bought into a bar. That was not a good idea. I had a history of a shaky relationship with alcohol. I had been certainly a workaholic and away from home. I had a little kid. I wanted to be at home more. I wanted something that would earn a living, bring in an income, and allow me to stay at home and allow me to contribute to my community. So I bought into a bar with some new friends that I didn't know particularly well. It was a very risky thing. I put a lot of our family money into it. I came out of it broke, anxious, depressed. I was always anxious and depressed. More anxious and depressed, and somewhere in the alcoholic zone. That was a big risk. That didn't work out particularly well. I turned up at an open mic and read poems in front of an audience of strangers. That was a big risk.
One of them paid off and one of them didn't. Or did they both pay off?
I think they both paid off. I'm sober for 6 years this November, and my life is transformed through sobriety. I've never been more connected to who I am. I've never had a better idea of who I am. I learned some really hard leadership rules, figured out the kind of person that I want to be. I learned that I can stand up in front of an audience and speak, which I could never have done in the past. If you'd asked me to do this 10 years ago, well, you knew me 10 years ago,
yeah.
I would have really struggled with this.
Really?
I'd have done it.
I was going to say, I think you would have done it.
I would have done it, but I probably wouldn't have slept for 3 days before, and I wouldn't have let anyone know that either, because I wouldn't have wanted anyone to know that I was scared.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been mostly looking forward to this and slightly forgetting about it.
Thanks. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but it, it's just been a nice thing that was coming up, and that all comes from, I suppose it comes from sobriety, and it comes from poetry or creativity, my creative process.
I mean, standing up and speaking, especially poetry, you're gonna get good at speaking about anything in public, are you not?
Oh yeah, like I've
You're just thrown
told
in the
some
deep end there.
pretty horrific personal stories with rhythm and rhyme, and so I'm pretty open book now.
Last question. Last time you experienced a sense of awe, or your state of flow, either one or both?
That's super easy peasy, because I think that's been happening right now.
Flow?
I mean, probably flow as well, apart from the times when I can't find the right word. Every morning, my chair, again, massive privilege. The armchair that I sit in the morning has a sea view. I watch the sun rise for about 4 months of the year, and the rest of the time I watch the sky change, and I feel awe every morning when I see that. I'm in a flow state. Every time I climb or ride a bike or go to the gym, one of those things happens every day. Like my day has multiple opportunities to experience awe and flow. I think that access to awesome it should almost be an NHS thing. It should be I think when people deprive themselves of opportunities for awe, they're cutting themselves off from the universe, and we're such little parts of this. When you see a sunrise, you're like, fuck me, that is without question the most beautiful thing I've seen since yesterday. and it's happening because I'm a tiny thing in this massive universe, and that's all.
I guess that daily practice of that perspective is it's like self-feeding though, isn't it?
Yeah,
because you can
yeah.
easily look out your window and
you
glance at it and not think about it.
So many people do. One of my absolute favorite meditations is to pick up something. So like my phone, and like how many people have touched this phone before it came to me. And I love working backwards from the dude in the Vodafone shop who handed it over, and then like go back from him. So then someone put it on the shelf in the stockroom, and then someone put it, and you go right back, and then you get to the bit where someone's mining bauxite or whatever it is that's toxic in your phone, and that connection to that process is awe-inspiring and kind of not so great, and kind of like I'm so small within that, and it's just this phone, but you can do it with my glasses or my coffee cup or the coffee beans. And I think little practices like that where you engage with the vastness of the universe or the vastness of your tiny corner of the universe, I think makes it easier to then connect with how wonderful the sunrise is. Or isn't it cool the way the tides, not the tides, the rips in the water are pulling stripes in the sea?
Yeah, it makes me think about my Pilates class or my teacher, because she's always saying you're not lacking strength, you're lacking finding the right connection.
Oh.
So like thinking about connection as your strength, I think is really a good way of thinking about how you connect to everybody and that strength that you get from that. But then also, like you said, beyond that, everything's connected, and when you really think about it in those terms, that is the strength of things.
That's the connective tissue. That's where that's the glue.
It is the glue. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for being like part of this glue here in this community.
It's such a privilege to have seen this grow, to have been in before the walls went up and before the door went in, you know?
Yeah, a good maybe 12 years ago, before this started, Paul and I remember sitting at the beach house outside and talking about it, and you were so excited, and I think that is so important when you're trying to drive an idea forward, to have a few champions along the way to say, yeah, do it, that's a really cool idea. Or like coming in, I think we mapped out where the studios could go with tape, and
we walked around with masking tape, didn't we?
Yeah.
And this has shaped our community. It's brought so many interesting people to Portobello who came here to work maybe, but then
loved Portobello,
bought a flat, rented a flat, moved in, and you've played a huge part in shaping the community. And Tribe Porty is so important.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it's cool people, I have to say.
Yeah,
no, it's good. Oh, thank you so much, Paul.
You're very welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
To show your support, please like and subscribe to this podcast. If you'd like to learn more and stay connected to Tribe Porty and Working for Progress, please visit tribeporty.org. There you can subscribe to our newsletter and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where we share monthly blogs offering insights into how we craft our working lives. This has been Working for Progress. We hope you join us again.